Oh, big one, huh? It's been sitting here, but that's all right.
What's going on, guys? It's MadManPlant. We're here at the American Autoflower Cup 2025 having a blast. Now, they just did the awards ceremony and they got a whole bunch of other people going on right now. But I ran into Chronic Culture here, who is a big fan of cannabis, mental health, and a whole bunch of other things. So tell me about this. Is this your first cup?
Big auto cup, yes.
Okay.
And the high times and the chalices and not the secret cup, but yeah. This is my first auto.
Very cool.
Jeremy talked me into coming.
So what do you think about everything?
It's good. I'm looking into it. I'm interested.
No, hold that a little bit closer.
Okay, I'm interested. It's like I've been growing for 20, 30 years, probably more like 30 years. And from the canyons to the backyards to right now I'm on in a condo. So the auto strains would be like the perfect choice for me. Yeah. I've got a couple out there, but I'm more old school. I've come from the photo period regs and have done that adventure, but I'm trying to be open-minded and maybe change some things up in my grow routines. And got a bunch of genetics, auto genetics for sure. They're just sitting, waiting for my, that final moment of being convinced. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this. So you've grown all different styles. Now you're in a condo, you said?
Right now I'm on a condo with a golf course.
Do you do, that's kind of
with
nice.
A low-lying garden with an indoor 24-hour garden.
Are you doing tent grow, room? How are you set up right now?
I'm just right now collecting a few genetics for the next stage when I get to my homestead, when I get to my place.
Yeah.
But I'm in between right now. I'm just collecting genetics.
What's your feature setup look like? Are you going to go DWC, soil, cocoa?
Probably we'll start off with what I know best, soil.
Okay, very cool. Living soil or?
Going to be organic, just, a little building it kind of thing. But yeah.
Just slowly tearing it off.
I'm going to be doing like some vermiculture, doing the worm castings and the humics and the molasses.
Are you a compost guy? Do you like teas and all that jazz?
Absolutely.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
So what's your philosophy when it comes to gardening?
Keep it simple.
That's
over here.
That's
I heard it from him earlier,
but
no, it's just kind of like I've been doing it for so long, 52 years old. I've gotten to the point to where I'm just like whispering with the plant. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
I feel you on that.
I can walk into a room and I know if they're sad or what have you, and if they need a little magnesium, if they're feeling a little sick, give them a little calcium, boost their immune system, things like that. It's not real rocket science. It does take some time to gather the knowledge and the information, but I'm real like feral sort of say, or just like, I do whatever I need. I've got all my nutrients. I got things I just use it as I go. I'll do a couple teas, give it some additives, help fix some things, do just kind of whatever. Not like doing it right now. I'm just doing it as a hobby. I'm not doing it for financial gain. So it doesn't matter, to have
that's one thing
the most, harvest out of the space. I'm just out there looking at genetics, smelling, sniffing. I call it harvesting trichomes, making hash and stuff like that.
Well, that's one thing too. I don't do it for profit. I do it for fun. I think honestly, if you do it for money, there's anything wrong with that. But for me, as a business owner, entrepreneur, there's a love and hate when it comes to financially making money off it because it's service based at that time.
Absolutely.
And everything matters when you're doing it from the heart and everything. If you make mistakes, if the plants die, it's not that big a deal because it was never about anything to begin with. And I think when you're trying to,
you can't lose.
You can't lose. And I think that's one of the biggest things is having that just knowledge that I'm always winning because I'm always satisfied.
Yeah.
Now, talk a little bit about how does this work with your mental health? Why do you smoke cannabis?
I started off smoking just, as a child, 12 years old, just learning that there's a herb out there. There's a plant that people are smoking and it makes them happy. It makes them laugh. And coming from a household that wasn't always perfect, a little violent and stuff like that. You got the greaser dad. Greaser combs his hair back and does the whole, Marlboro cigarettes in the sleeve and the more. But yeah. So coming from a place to where you didn't see color, you saw like this was the way you need to be. You need to be hard or tough or what have you, and learning to lose your ego in the process and trying it brought color to life.
Absolutely.
It brought color to life. I literally learned you can be a male man and do art. You can be a male man and do things, you can do whatever you want to do. you know. So when I smoked cannabis, I could see the whole world open up to me. Like I don't have to be this depressed, sad person. I control my destiny. You know, I control my future. I can do whatever I want, and that's like pretty much the focus from then on out. Like I've had a long life. You know, a lot of things have happened, but yeah, on the growing scene, it makes me happy. I friggin' go to work high and I'm like the hardest worker at work all day long, huh, baby? Like nobody can keep up with me. I get it. I smoke 20. So yeah, my website's like about chronicculture.com or Corey Watkins is my personal Facebook page, my Instagram. But my whole thing is like we've been put down for using this herb for so long and I've seen nothing but positivity come out of it. I don't like the demonization of it, making it look like something that it's not, the whole pharmaceutical industry. So I'm more of a feral kind of a person coming from the hills and in the canyons and living off springs and seeps and digging out ponds and running 2 miles of half-inch polyvinyl hose through the bushes and things like that back in the 90s and stuff like that. But yeah, just doing things without permission, just go and do it, you know.
You talked a little bit about
brings
losing
happiness.
ego and you not being tough. Talk a little bit about that.
Good catch.
Yeah.
That's good journalism for sure. Just, you know, like in a household like that, would you like 50s cars, greasers, and tough guy syndrome and stuff like that? You know, you don't really get to explore every facet of life. You're kind of trained, or your thought process is, I got to be a tough guy. You know, like, did you get in a fight today? You know, at school, did you win? You know, it's like none of that matters. You know, it's like be kind to each other. You know, so I smoke weed and I love everybody. You know, I smoke weed and I taste the food. I smoke weed and I see colors. I want to paint. I want to do art. I want to throw clay on the pottery wheel. You know, I want to go out searching and rummaging through the hills for minerals and rocks and cool stuff. You know what I mean?
Would you say that
it's mentally freeing? It's mentally, it's awesome stuff. It's definitely the best thing on earth.
Would you say that growing up in a violent like child home from time to time has put like maybe a safe space in your mind where as long as there's never conflict and there's always like things that promote happiness or wellness, it creates more of a safe space for yourself? And then if so, like how do you deal with confrontation nowadays? Because not every day is going to be peaceful. We're all going to deal days where we're still want to rage on.
I definitely put my hands together. I'm definitely a God-fearing man, so I'll put my hands together.
I believe in God too.
Yeah, something, you know, there's
higher power, whatever it might be.
It's not a religion, but anyways, away from that,
there you go.
I pray to God. And that's a great point that you hit on because, right, and I'm trying to think what I was going to respond with, but while you were talking, I was like, OMG, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, cool. It's just, it happens, you know, it's like, you can be taken from one moment of being happy and then especially where I work at and then be suddenly in a position where you got to think about how you react to that situation. But you know, Mary Jane brings me back to earth. It just brings me, it slows me down a little bit in the process as far as the thinking process. It allows me to capture the moment a little better versus being ADHD or hyperactive and what have you. But it seems as far as when it's weird. I don't know. I just go to work and work hard and I get it, you know, it's just, I think it's more genetic, you know, just being work ethic, you know, just like pride in that going out and getting it. But I smoke to bring myself down for sure to another level. So I can cope with things sometimes, you know, not all the time. It's not too complex so much, you know, like got a choice these days. So
well, I think you said a powerful statement. We do have a choice, and I think the ability to put yourself first in any situation and to really focus on things that do promote, like you talked about, the happiness, the wellness. Because when I was younger, you think, you know, as any kid, you know, action movies, the violence, explosions, the fighting, it's all cool. But as you get older and become more of an adult, you realize that one, that would hurt, and two, that's probably a lot of physical therapy, getting in all those fights, and two,
Or somebody got hurt.
or somebody got hurt.
I care about people. I want to care about people.
You know, and I think being able to say that, hey, I can put my pride aside. I can try to eat my humble pie, and I can find happiness in what I have. I can share that with you because recently I have actually done that in my life. I'm actually searching for more gratification in the sense of just being grateful. A lot of times, as a person or anybody in the world, we have all these things and goals and all these, feelings of where we should be in life and what
Self-worth.
we should be doing, right? And we realize that I think in the end, when you just stop to think about, I look around and I can be happy, I think that is the key to success,
Yes, absolutely. Or I can be mad and unsuccessful.
Well, yeah, Billy Joel, the song Vienna.
Okay.
He says you can get what you want or you can just get old.
Okay.
So
not familiar, but I will now.
Okay.
I will listen to
Vienna is about the destination, so it's not about a girl. In the song, he says Vienna waits for you, and it's your destiny. It's the power of the tomorrow will come.
Right.
The ability for you to be successful tomorrow is in the grasp of your hands and what you decide to do today and
100%.
tomorrow and everything else. Time will always go by, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one thing as I'm getting older is I want to put me first in the sense where it's self-preservation. So when you get older, you don't have to be one of these people who's 80 years old coming out of retirement, going back to work.
Yeah.
I want to be in a place where I'm happy and I'm respected and the people around me actually lift me up and want me to be around.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I also want to have great relationships, memories, impact people's lives and really help, whether it's like this 10-minute interview or something much deeper. Yeah. So I think you're so much on the right track with everything that you have going on.
Every day's practice. You know what I mean? Every day's practice.
And it's discipline, especially when things are going wrong.
Absolutely.
So to end this up, and to get you back to the American Autoflower Cup.
Fiesta.
Yes, I thank you so much for your time, by the
Absolutely.
way. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to hear about when you write your book and be one of the people to interview you.
It'd be crazy. From 1996 on the front lines of the Million Man Medical Marijuana Prop 215 march, I was being chased by cops. Got into the march. I was in the front line at the banner with Wavy Gravy. Was invited back to, I believe it was like the Cannabis House or something back in not Oakland, but somewhere. And there was one of the first collectives or cooperatives back in the 80s and stuff. So, anyways, he had me on the front lines, kind of protected me as we marched and lit a joint and smoked a joint with me. So, Hugh Romney, Wavy Gravy, but yeah. And then there's all kinds of other crazy stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well.
So much more to come, so much to do.
Well, Chronic Culture, where can people find you?
It never ends. Chronicculture.com, or it's chronicculturelifestyles.com. So it's all about the lifestyle. It's like stoners have feelings too, maybe even deeper than you.
I love that. Guys, we have more podcasts coming your way here at the American Autoflower Cup. We will see you guys soon.